All right. Well, while you're getting that set up, we may as well intro. So, hey guys, Brad from Drathrorol Games here, and I'm here with Jason and Jackie, and we are gonna do some Yu-Gi-Oh debates because we are all in quarantine and we have nothing better to do. And Yu-Gi-Oh content is essentially dead right now, so so we figured, what the hell? So, all right.
Quite a
So,
different kind of duel.
yep.
A duel
So,
Just
of
gotta imagine too that
words.
there have been 3 sets and a structure deck released that nobody's been able to play with yet.
yeah, yeah.
The new
So,
RDA support is what makes me angry that I can't get.
yeah. Well, anyway, Jackie, you this hand. You are the moderator for this first debate, so why don't you tell the audience what Jason and I are debating and what sides we have to take and how
Right,
this
well,
is all
my
going to work.
two well, my two lovely cohorts here are going to be arguing which is better, Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime subbed or Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime dubbed. We will be going through, and both sides are going to be presenting their arguments. With Jason, I have no idea whether I'm pointing to Jason or not. We'll fix this in post. It will be arguing for the superiority of dubs, whereas Brad will be arguing for the superiority of subs. Now, whenever now, I suppose we should begin with a coin flip. Let's see who it is that's going first. One moment, please.
Oh, and one last thing, really quick, before we start. Um, we don't know. We didn't know who was going to get what side when we started this, so we're just going into this completely blind, completely improvised. So this will be
Because as
fun.
we all know, most debates between anime fans have absolutely no bearing, and the whole point is to be right, not to be correct. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and uh, let's go with Jason. Call it. Heads or tails?
Tails never fails.
All right.
Time
You
moves
are
us
correct,
go.
my good sir. Would you like to go first or second?
I will take first.
Like every
Excellent.
good
Set up
Yu-Gi-Oh
your
player,
board, but don't get the first draw. Bold move, I see. Right.
and letting
And we are at
me
a minute
attack.
each for opening statements.
All right.
Beginning and begin.
So I'm going to be debating over the merits of the dub of the Yu-Gi-Oh anime throughout the different seasons that we have had, minus season 0, of course, which never got a dub, and then of course the movies as well as any other side material that has been released. I feel that dubs are superior because they are more accessible to a wider audience. That which is the whole point of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's try to get it out to as many people as possible. In essence, it is a children's show featuring a children's card game, so you have to make it as accessible to children as possible. Also, too, that the writing is more geared towards an English-speaking audience, which makes some of the jokes land better, and so on and so forth, like that, as well as some interesting editing choices, which can really make a difference and almost transcends the dub into a whole new series of its own.
All right. And that is your time. All right, Brad. 1 minute. State your case.
Oh, we're starting now.
Yep.
Oh, shit.
Opening
Okay.
statements.
Well, as any anime watcher will tell you, you know, subs are for the elites. It's called sub-elitists for a reason. And the reason that the subs are the elite for this particular anime is you get to see what the actual story was intended to be. They cut with the 4Kids or whatever company is currently dubbing Yu-Gi-Oh now. They cut out so much and changed the dialogue so much that these characters, these people aren't even the they're not even them anymore, and the events that take place aren't even the the events that take place. They don't even have the same
And we don't have to
names.
cut you off. That has been 1 minute.
Okay. All right. For the future ones, just say "go" as like a signifier that we're start that the other person needs to start. Okay.
All right, and then the next, and then moving on from the opening phase to the main phase one. I'm sorry, how did you want to run this, Brad? That was this, and then like
How?
bullet points or counterpoints.
Uh, this is like the main statement, or if you want to counter what I'm gonna say, what I said or whatever, whatever you want to do for your middle statement, that is the time. That is what we're doing.
So the first thing then, whenever, let me know when you can start my timer, and I'll go into it.
All right, we're looking at 1 minute and 30 seconds. All right, any counter statements or elaborations will be going to Jason, and begin.
All right, so the first thing I'd like to say too is yes, it is correct that the dub does change a lot of things. That makes it unique in its own right. When you think about it, everything in the dub is different. The names of the characters, the overall theming, the music is a big thing. Say what you want about 4Kids, but they can write some bangers, and it really makes things better. When you think of Yu-Gi-Oh, I don't think of Junichi and Honda and Anzu. I think Joey, Taya, and Tristan. It's just that's what ingrains this into you. I don't think I would have gotten into it when I was oh crap, that was like what 2003. I would have been 17. I don't think I would have gotten into it as much because I wasn't into anime that much at the time. If it were an anime instead of a cartoon, in terms of theming and pacing, it's a show about card games. They managed to keep the main overall theme, the life and death risks. Sure, they call it the Shadow Realm instead of them dying or being with Bakura sending bones, which is a lot easier to say than whatever the heck his name is in Japanese. It's like Zombie Hiroto or something like that. Sending him straight to hell. Oh, I'm getting notice that I have 10 seconds left. I just want to say, because of that too, the music, again, when you think of Yu-Gi-Oh, Kawaii Ta Sakebiya or Your Move, what do you agree with?
All right, and we will now be moving over to Brad. You have a minute 30 on the clock. Counter arguments or any further elaborations? And begin.
All right. In response to your question of which do I think of is your move or the first opening for the first Yu-Gi-Oh
Kawaii Ta
series.
Sakebiya.
Yes, that. Um, I think Precious Time Glory Days, motherfucker, because that is hands down the best Yu-Gi-Oh opening ever. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, yes, it's accessible to more people, but at the same time, it's also not, because when the dub decides not to animate something, or they decide to uh, not dub a certain section, like for example the final season of GX or the final season of 5Ds, uh, Vrains is still currently in limbo. What are you supposed to do with that? In fact, with Vrains, we didn't have access to the dub until like a year into production for the Vrains. So it's like, how are you supposed to advertise your product over in the West if the West isn't even getting the commercial? So honestly, honestly, if they're gonna dub, that's fine, but they shouldn't like change so much. They shouldn't change what Yu-Gi-Oh is in its essence.
All right. And then from here, I guess, would be, do you want to go counter arguments or closing statements after this?
Uh, Closing statements.
All right. All right. Well, with that, it is now time to move into closing statements. Closing statements are 1 minute apiece. And we will once again be, as Jason opened, Jason will begin the closing statements with Brad getting the final word. And now your time for closing statements begins. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. So in closing, I'm just going to say again that the dub is superior when it comes to a cartoon like Yu-Gi-Oh, just because it makes it more accessible. The jokes are more funny. The names are easier to pronounce. The music is much better, and the edits aren't really that significant. When you talk about the fact that certain seasons didn't get dubs, that wasn't on purpose. That was what 4 Kids dying. So that happens. But I still think that the dub is a fantastic watch. I would, for season 1, again, the season I'm most familiar with, I would take the dub over the sub any day. And I would listen. Again, I got Yu-Gi-Oh music to dole by. I don't have myself listening to 100%. I'm listening to Get Your Game On. So, in closing, I will say it is just the dub is better just because it's more sensible to Western tastes.
All right. And now just checking, did anybody else get any of that? Because on my end, everything just froze.
It's fine. I heard it all, which means that the thing that I'm using to record all this picked it all up. So we're good.
That's good. I was quite eloquent.
Embellish
I'll
in
have
the
to take your
elements
word
and
for it.
elephants, but the elephant is in the room. The truth is in your face when you hear the British cannons go boom. Sorry.
And now, Brad, you have 1 minute for closing statements. And begin.
Okay, so the subbed the subbed is just superior in every way because it actually is the story that the authors, that the creators, that the writers, that the directors, that the animators, they intended for this to happen as they told. And but okay, essentially what the English dub does to Yu-Gi-Oh is the same as what the Chinese government does to movies. And it's painful. It is incredibly painful and disrespectful to the artists. It's one thing to dub it so that your English speaking audience can verbally understand it, but I mean just don't change the story, man. Don't change the lines, character name, blah blah blah.
All right, and that was our debate. In truth, you are both wrong. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series is the greatest form of Yu-Gi-Oh! Thank you all for joining us today. Please leave it in the comments down below who actually won, as you will all completely agree with me. Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series, near and dear to all of our hearts, is the greatest form.
Okay, yeah, I have to give you that, yeah. Alright. Alright.
And then, of course, though, Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series is parodying what version of Yu-Gi-Oh?
Both,
Ah.
actually, but the dub technically because it's easier to make fun of.
Yeah. What a digital dummy.
But anyway. Alright. Well, OBS is alerting me that frames are getting skipped, so I think we'll stop recording for right now. See you in the next one. We're gonna do more of these, and we're recording all these all at once. So, bye!